She fell, she fought, and in the end, she emerged victorious. This is the woman of today, and she is made of steel. Come and watch how she slays.
On your favorite international radio network, 94.3 Radio 1, One World, your station. Joining me today on She Slays is Sumitra Senapaty, who happens to be the founder of a travel club called WOW. And just as the name goes, it is a WOW experience she decided one day to give to all the women folk. Thank you so much, Sumitra, for joining me. It is wonderful to have you. A warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Annie. Totally my pleasure.
Sumitra, a WOW club or a travel club where you get women together and you travel the world. I'm sure it didn't happen overnight. You were thinking about it and mulling over it for a while. So what was that Eureka moment all about? How did it happen?
See, the Eureka moment is, I did discuss it with my family for a long time till they told me categorically that, they told me categorically that, listen, it's now or never.
Ooh.
So yes, it's now or never. So these are the type of decisions. And then I took it up as a challenge. I thought that, look, it's okay. If I do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't. And I started.
That is beautiful. Now, speaking of travel, since you were a child, you've been traveling with your parents, with your family, because your father had a transferable job. How many years ago are we talking about?
I started WOW in the summer of 2005, Annie. That's a long, long time back.
That's beautiful.
Totally differently. There's a paradigm shift, from that time to now.
I completely agree. So when you started back in 2005, it is beautiful and nice to know that your family supported you every step of the way. But when you went out to tell women about this, what was the first reaction? What was the response?
So the concept itself was the biggest challenge, Annie. Everybody thought that it was a marvelous idea and everybody oohed and awed about it. But they said that, okay, it's a brilliant concept. I love the tour and I want to hop on, but give me the weekend to discuss it with family.
Sure.
And then, on Monday morning, what happened? 9.5 out of 10 women, nobody called me. So that was so hard. I mean, it was the biggest challenge selling the concept, not to women. They loved it and bought it, but to their families.
Sure.
So they had so many issues in mind. I don't blame them. But the biggest issue was that why go with women that you don't know? Why not with your own family?
Right. So then how did you break those barriers? How did you move ahead and sort of convince them? How did women start, thinking differently?
Well, it took some time. And a lot was word of mouth. And, I did tell a lot of people about it. I said it's all about me time. And you see, that 2005 was the time when me time had just somewhat, stepped into the horizon.
Yeah.
Women did realize that, okay, after a whole day of working in the office, going back, multitasking, preparing meals, seeing the kids' homework, it's time that they had a break too. And then they also probably realized that they were looking for some empowerment, some way of doing something unusual, something that they had discovered. And whenever they discovered WOW and came on a WOW trip, it was like a total journey of discovery, of self-discovery for them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it was a lot. The families did support. I've, been interviewed and talked with by many husbands, fathers, relatives, everybody wanting to know how safe it is and how I do it. How do I take the women and give them a good time and bring them back safely?
I'm sure you may have had some brilliant experiences with women coming back to you and seeing that it's changed their lives. So which city, which country did something like this first happen?
I think that it first happened in our own country, in Ladakh. See, so in summer of 2005, I wanted to look for a challenging and adventurous destination, which was really not known, to the travel. I mean, whoever traveled in India. So it can't be a Simla or a Mussoorie or a Ooty,
Right.
Or nothing like that. So I thought of Ladakh, and it was so unique and so far away, literally on the top of India, that there were some women south of the Vindhyas even who wrote and asked me, do we need a passport? To go there. So it's like that. So I chose an unusual destination to make it work. I talked a lot to women, and people who really supported me and who I thank, because I was a part of them once upon a time, is the media. You see, they were all friends with me.
Right.
Verve Magazine, Femina, Times of India, different, Deccan Herald, The Hindu. So they were all journalists and, editors who I had worked with. So it was just like me talking to them, and they loved the idea. And there was no newspaper or TV channel in India which did not talk about the Wow Club. So it was like every week I had coverage.
That's brilliant.
Yes. So when people see it, and it's kind of gets compounded when they see it in their favorite magazine or newspaper, they see my photograph and my interview, they think that, okay, this is something that we can trust. And people really trusted me, and across the country. There were people who came from Guwahati, there were women who came from Nasik, from Coimbatore. So it's not only the big metros, it's the smaller places also. And it changed their lives. That's your question.
Yes.
Which you asked.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was so desperate and so eager for this to work that there was one Delhi mother who called me and said, I'm paying up and I'm coming on your Ladakh trip if you say it snows there, because my daughter wants to see snow.
Okay.
Her daughter was only 8 years old. And so I was not thinking straight Annie those days. I just said, yes, of course it will snow, you come. I didn't know that it's going to snow, but it so happened that there was a blizzard at Kardungla, a snowstorm. And I remember the army Jawans looked after us and took us into their, camp, gave us glucose biscuits and chai, helped this little girl, made a snowman. So these are some of the memories that I will always treasure, for the rest of my life, that I've made things happen for women when they wanted it. I mean, I don't say that I made it snow. It's impossible, but it happened.
It worked out, and it has touched so many lives, because in coming out of the comfort of their homes, back in the day when this was a very new concept, and back in the day when people questioned such concepts, women have felt liberated and women have felt empowered. That's what you did. Now, when women joined you and set out for these trips, over the years, I think there has been a huge shift in mindset, in culture. Many more people have started traveling. And so these days, from solo travelers, which include women again, to groups of travelers, there are a plenty. What is the kind of growth you saw in your business over 15, 20 years now?
So it was a phenomenal growth, Annie, for two reasons. One, that women who came aboard were all passionate travelers, and they loved this, travel platform for women.
Sure.
The other important factor is that they made friends, which I was telling you earlier, because they had their own circle of friends. And no matter where they went, whether they went to Delhi or Bangalore or, wherever, Mumbai, they had their own set of friends, people who could depend. And today, so many years later, there are women who've done 25 trips with me in 20 years.
Wow.
There are women who've done 10 trips, 15 trips. So it's really grown by leaps and bounds. And, it's a community today. It's a community who depend on each other. And you touched about the pandemic. Well, yes, the pandemic has been totally disastrous for the travel world and for the travel industry and for WOW as well. Right. I mean, there were months on end when my offices in Delhi and Bangalore were totally closed. Right. And in fact, we opened and we closed again in the month of January. Right. And it's just opened again. So going forward, I think that we've started with a lot more travel in India. Right. Small trips and interesting places. And women like nice places to stay, Yeah. So end of the day, a little bit, because it's all about mixing with like-minded women, chatting with them. They're all, fantastic foodies. I think women are natural foodies. So they like, they like to discuss recipes. They like to check out different things. And of course, the clothes and the shopping and generally living it up and having a good time. And it leaves them in a very positive and enthusiastic frame of mind when they get back to their families. Yeah. Absolutely. So Plans ahead is small trips in India, at least for this year, because one is still a little nervous, though our website does talk about Ireland, Scotland. Today I saw in the papers that Australia has allowed Indian
Yes.
tourists and other tourists from 22nd February.
Yes, they
So,
are.
yeah, things are opening up. So we are hopeful that the international travel will also get back. In fact, our bookings for the Antarctica expedition next year is in full swing because
Wow.
having sat at home for 2 years, women are really wanting to do something different now. They want to go out and they don't want to do something like revenge travel. I wouldn't put it that way. It's not. But it's just that, okay, they've enjoyed their silver linings to the pandemic. Women have
Right.
got more time to spend with their loved ones, their families. But now they want to get back. They want to see and explore. They're missing the companionship.
Right. Right. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Sumitra, you've been doing a fabulous job. Kudos to you for that. And now we're going to change gears and I'm going to ask you a few light-hearted questions. Since the past 2 years, everything's been about, watching and entertaining ourselves online. My very first question to you will be, have you watched any movies recently online on an OTT platform that you really loved?
I haven't watched any movies online lately, Annie, just because I was, getting back into gear, planning
Sure.
things. And but I picked up some nice books. Would you like to hear about the book that I'm reading?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I don't know if you can see it. It's right here. Can you?
Yes. Alina Ferrante, The Story of the Lost Child.
Yeah. So this is a Napoli quartet. It's a mysterious lady. I mean, they don't know her true identity. How
Uh-huh.
amazing is that? And she talks about the relationship of herself and her best friend, who's another woman. So it's an
Wow.
interesting. And I've reached through the pandemic. I've reached the fourth book, the last book of the quartet, and
Lovely.
yes, and I'm enjoying myself.
That is so cool. Where is your happy place, Sumitra?
My happy place. I have many happy places. Are you talking about travel or in and around my home?
In and around home, travel. I believe in and around home is what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, my happy place is in Bangalore. I love my garden.
Ah,
Absolutely. I have a little swing there where I just go there and swing and sit down and contemplate and have a cup of coffee sometime and read my book. That's my happy place.
that is so nice. What job do you think you're terrible at?
Uh,
Let the cat out of the bag.
I'm not so good at house management, home
Ah,
management, managing things.
count me in. Okay. What's something that you're really afraid of?
Probably, afraid of the pandemic coming back.
Right. Right.
So
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. If you were given a
Because
chance to explore the oceans, go to the moon, and visit 50 countries, which one would you choose and why?
I would choose Africa, the continent of Africa, because it's a beautiful blend of flora and fauna. It gives you everything. It gives you a restful holiday, gives you time to think and stare, to stand and stare. And I just love the place. So it's Africa, no doubt.
Oh, okay. So you don't wish to go to the moon. That's really not on the list.
No, it's too far fetched. I would put something on the ground level, reality.
Okay, okay. What kind of music do you listen to? Can you name any two international artists if you do listen to?
I listen to a lot of music, but I like bands like the Rolling Stones. I like U2, some of these, and the Doors.
Nice.
Yes.
Very, very nice. So, what are the top two travel destinations on your bucket list now?
You mean places where I haven't been
Yes.
to? I would love to go to Madagascar.
Wow.
And yes, so Madagascar is something, it's a part of Africa, very unique and really, amazing. And I would like to go to Greenland.
Ah, right then. Right then. Which dessert makes you go weak in your knees?
Tiramisu.
Since you mentioned being a foodie and how women are natural foodies, if you were given one thing to eat an entire week, what would it be?
Goat cheese, goat or feta cheese salad.
Wow. Amazing. What are some of the things you're excited about that's up and coming in this year?
Travel, travel, travel.
Sumitra Senapaty of Wow Travel Club. Thank you so much for your time, Sumitra. This has been beautiful. Thanks for the wonderful moments and wonderful memories you've shared, and for, of course, such a challenging, dream that you took up back in the day when it was never thought of. And today, as we know, the world has gone far ahead. And along with Wow, you have also taken so many women far ahead in life and empowered them. Thank you so much for that. And thanks for your time.
Thank you, Annie. Bye.
One world, your station.